Shalom, I'm Rabbi Gail Schuster-Buskila, and today I'd like to talk for a few minutes about Parashat Nitzavim, one of the last parashot of the Torah portions of the book of Dvarim, Deuteronomy. And I have a few words to say about the ideas in this parasha that I think are connected to Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, to the high holidays, because it is from here that we get the ideas that we're supposed to be connected to God. And I think the idea of we, as a Jewish people, are supposed to be connected to our God, and we are supposed to behave in a certain way, and that is how we hope that things will be made better, that we ourselves will improve, but we as a group will improve, and that society will improve, and that the world will improve. You can see behind me the candlestick that I use to light candles on Shabbat and holidays. It doesn't look like much now. I'll move a little bit so you can see. It's not really that great. It's not made of precious metal. But it connects me to my family in the past. And the light, I think, comes from there and then goes out into the future. I think that's what I see in Parashat Nitzavim, that whether or not we are standing together, whether or not we are together, our light, our lives are connected. Although it's not made of precious metal, it was handed down to me, this particular candlestick, from my great-grandmother on my father's mother's side. And I think that it gives me a connection that I hope all of us have a connection to, not just to someone who I've never met, and not just to a thing, but an idea of continuity between the generations, one after the other. I've included this visual of a few different pictures of groups to give us an idea of the time span from ancient to modern era that I believe connects us all to Parashat Nitzavim. Deuteronomy 29, we deal with these verses, 9 to 11. You who are gathered here today, all of you before Yahweh your God, your tribal chieftains and officials, every man of Israel, your children, your women, and the stranger that is in your camp, from your wood chopper to your water bearer, to enter into a brit with Yahweh your God. And I always connect to this page of glossary and notes to be able to explain how we say interesting or difficult concepts, the Yud He Vav He, the ancient name of God of Israel, what we use as God, which we call Elohim, and of course the idea of brit or covenant. Fascinating article from the 1906 Jewish Encyclopedia. But I go on to think about these things, as I say in my section on theology, not as literal, but metaphorical or poetical when we deal with these things. This page has many different ideas, but I'd like to go on a bit with my Midrash. They are all there, no one is missing. Every ancestor is standing shoulder to shoulder with no idea of what to expect. The air is warm and seems to flow with every breath taken. The words begin to materialize first as mist covers a valley, and then as a cascade of statements wash over them, they ebb and flow through air into their ears. Many, many, many sections of Deuteronomy, Dvarim, in which Moses is supposed to be giving his last speeches to the children of Israel. This is one of the last parashot. There are really only 3 more. And it's happening this year, at the end of 2022, just before Rosh Hashanah, which will begin on Sunday night, and then the week after Yom Kippur. And all of these are connected to how we are connected to one another as a people, and to what we should be doing ethically and morally. A current is generated as words come faster and catch the synapses, making new connection. Each pair of eyes is lit up and shines with joy as the mind perceives in total comprehension. The pulse of the crowd is palpable, steady but excited, matching the flow of words with the rhythm that will beat and resound throughout the generations. We are the newest link in the chain, so we don't always know how to grasp one another firmly. All of us, past, present, and future. Okay. I'll continue a bit. I am making this brit, this pledge, not just with you alone, but also with those standing here today before Yahweh your God, and those who are not here with us today. We stand in the midst of a desert, near the bottom of a mountain. Some people might not be aware of the summons, but has taken everyone into account. Every one of us is there too, the aged, the newborn, the yet to be expected. All is present at this feast of words. I end my Midrash with a few verses from the prophet Isaiah. This is one that I think is beautiful. The desert and wilderness will be glad. The arid land will rejoice and flower like a rose. It will blossom abundantly and even rejoice. Shout exaltedly. Lebanon will give of its glory. The Carmel and the Sharon will be splendid. They will see the presence of Yahweh, the splendor of our God. The future can be full of light if we search for it. These are my suggestions, Yechelkel Brown's or Gadol, and Amir Dadon's or Gadol. Beautiful additions dealing with the light that can be. I'm making this video on Friday afternoon, the last Shabbat in this year, and I'm hoping that you have a wonderful Shabbat and a very peaceful, happy, and healthy New Year. Shabbat Shalom, Shana Tova. Parashat Nitzavim.